Hey, so what's up, everybody? I know my lighting is not up to par, but I'm lazy and I just want to go ahead and get this reading done. So, the reason, you know what? Let me not let me not do my channel like this. Let me go ahead and get some lighting. Yay! Now y'all can see me a lot better. Okay, gotta look good for this video. So, I'm going to be doing a tarot card reading on the relationship between Gunplay and Vonshae from Love and Hip Hop Miami. There is a lot that needs to be revealed and uncovered about this relationship. Not that long ago, Vonshae released a video of Gunplay being drunk, supposedly, and him being mad at her for throwing out his last bottle of Hennessy and him breaking the TV with an iron skillet, and then the day after, when he's sober, he realizes, I broke TV. Now let's get another TV. But since Gunplay is in Ifa, and y'all know that I'm down with Ifa, most specifically Santeria, I'm going to be calling on the ancestors for this reading too, because I was watching a video on Lovely T's channel, by the way, and she talked about Gunplay being into Santeria, wearing his Ileques or Santeria beads. And she's like, well, what are your spirits saying? She said, maybe you need to go to a spirit and put a plate of fruit and a candle or something to see what's going on. Because I've thought about that too with Gunplay, as to whether he really consults his Egun or if he really consults his ancestors. Like, what are his godparents saying? Or does he even have valid godparents? Because Gunplay is a very spiritual person. Like, one person that I follow on TikTok talked about how hood people sometimes can be some of the best spiritualists, and they can. Because in the past, I've gone to some of the best spiritualists, and they happen to be from the hood or somewhat ghetto. It's like they spells be working, readings be on point. They might be a little mean, they have an attitude, but it's gonna be accurate. So Gunplay, I feel like he has the right touch. But let's just go ahead and get into this reading. And I feel like Santeria is what linked them too, because Santeria, is an Afro-Cuban religion, and Vonshae happens to be Cuban. So maybe the ancestors may have brought them together for some reason, and it may, there just may be destiny involved in it. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Spirit of the universe in itself, when it comes to Gunplay and Vonshae, how did they meet? I'm picking up that Vonshae and Gunplay, they met through friends, because I'm picking up that Gunplay can be a very intellectual person, because a lot of people have been saying, oh, she's too smart. She's a lawyer. She got all these degrees, working on her PhD. Like, what is she doing with somebody like Gunplay? If somebody named Gunplay, then, they're going to all be about guns and all that type of stuff. But it's saying that Gunplay, we may have seen his hood rapper side, crazy side, or whatever, but he is book smart. He's very intellectual. He has read a lot of books. He has spoken to a lot of people. He's met some people. He's, discovered some things, especially with astrology. Spirit is saying he's really good with astrology, and it's caused him to study the moon cycles. I'm picking up that he has studied the moon cycles. He studied stars. He studied the planets and how they correlate with human feelings and human mind and emotions, and even how spirits tie into the universe, into the galaxy, into the planets. And that's pretty much what got him started in E5. So him being so astrological and focusing on the planets and the stars and how they maneuver and how human interactions can be based or can be influenced by the movement of the planets and the stars and the moons. So that's pretty much got him into E5, because he wanted to know more about creation. So that's what got him started in E5. Now, by him being so intellectual, he's, dabbled and dabbled in different circles and stuff, and he came across Vonshae. So that's pretty much how they met. Okay. Now, let's dive deep into let's dive deep into spirituality. I got to, because I love how spiritual Gunplay is, and a lot of people have actually talked about that with him. Because I love when he talks about Santeria and the Orishas and the ceremonies and things of that nature, and how people can block your blessings or rob your blessings by you being in the wrong energy. He's talked about a lot of this stuff in interviews. So if you do your reviews on him or you do your research on him, you'll see where he talks a lot about his spirituality. So let's go ahead and get into this. So, ancestors of Gunplay, when it comes to his relationship with Vonshae, was this destined? Like, was this a relationship that was meant to be? Was this an ancestor that was this a relationship that was brought on by the ancestors? Yes or no? I'm picking up yes. So yeah, his spirituality does play a part in the relationship with Vonshae. And the reason why I say this because Vonshae is Cuban. So Gunplay, I know a lot of people probably see him as a nigga or whatever, but Gunplay is Caribbean. His mom is Jamaican and his dad is Puerto Rican. And you guys know when it comes to Puerto Ricans, a lot of Puerto Ricans are really down with Ifa, mainly Santeria. I haven't really seen too many Puerto Ricans in with Isheshe, but a lot of them are into Santeria. And it's mainly because the ancestry, when you look at the ancestry of Caribbeans, like Jamaicans, Cubans, Haitians, spirituality runs deep. They may not talk about it. They may highly revere God or Jesus, the Catholic saints or whatever. But spirituality, especially African traditional religions or African traditional spiritualities, it runs deep within the culture. You'll see it in the food. You'll see it in the drinks. You'll see it in the way people greet people and how people dress. You'll even see it in the dances, hear it in the music. So spirituality runs deep when it comes to the lineage and the bloodline of Caribbeans. So he's a Caribbean man, so his walk in Ifa is ancestral. So he's walking with the ancestors. And Vonshae happens to be Cuban. So I do see a correlation or a connection by Santeria being an Afro-Cuban religion, and it's obvious that she is a Afro-Latina and she is Cuban, so she's a black Cuban at that. So I can see the correlation and the fusion going on there. But yes, I am seeing why they are together. The ancestors did bring him and Vonshae together. It's saying that they were brought together because he is supposed to learn something from her. Because she is a very smart woman. She's very smart, very wise, on her way to get her PhD. She's a lawyer. So she has a lot of things going for her. So I am picking up that she's supposed to be Gunplay's teacher, like his guide, like his muse, like his how can I say it? Like his Santera, more so. Somebody that's really supposed to build him up. Because I know a lot of women nowadays are so against women building men up and giving them money and all that kind of stuff. One thing I will say is that women can build a man up, but not always financially. The only reason why I say this is because a lot of from my understanding, I practice Santeria, and I'm an Abarisha in Santeria, so I know what I know. From my experience of Santeria and looking at the patakis and doing my research and being in the ceremonies and seeing Babalaos work with me, and in my ceremonies, Ifa is a very masculine culture. When it comes to African culture, mainly Western African culture, women are respected, but it is male dominated to an extent. Because when it comes to Ifa, you'll see a lot of the men doing most of the stuff and the women not really doing as much. Now, there are female priestesses like Iyanifas. Iyanifas are high priestesses in Ifa. And then in Isheshe, I'm not really too skilled on Isheshe because Isheshe is like the other branch of Ifa, and Isheshe deals more with ancestor veneration. I know a lot of African Americans are either down with Ifa or Isheshe because they feel like it's a lot closer to blackness or brings them more closer to their black ancestors, and they just consider Santeria to be for like Spanish people, or they call it like Spanish Ifa. Anyway, Ifa is kind of male dominated in a way. So you will see a lot of men doing more of the ceremonies and certain readings and so on and so forth. Now, women do a lot of things in Ifa because, like I said, female high priestesses are known as Yanifas. They can read, they can cleanse, they can do a whole lot. But there are certain things that some women cannot do in Ifa because even when you look in Santeria, when it comes to the Patakis, a lot of the female Orishas are intuitive. And we may not think that they are because their femininity is always put on the forefront as opposed to their divineness. Because Oshun has the gift of seeing, Yemaya has the gift of seeing. What's some other ones? You have Obanani, you have Oya, you have Yemaya, you have Oshun, you have trying to think of some other female Orishas that are around. I can't think of any, but Oshun and Yemaya are psychics. They are seers. But this wasn't given to them. This was something that they actually learned from one of the husbands that so happened to be a seer or that so happened to be a reader. Because in the time of the Orishas, when they were living in, Yoruba land before the Orishas all went back into the spiritual realm and earth was created with humans. So Yemaya and Oshun, they learned their divinity from the men that they were with, from one of the Orishas that had the gift of seeing. They learned that skill from them some way, somehow. So when it comes to Ifa, it is male dominated to an extent. It is because men can do almost everything and women can do some things but not everything. So I'm leaving that where it's at. Now, moving along to this whole thing about women building men and all that kind of stuff, I will say that women are not supposed to care for a man the way that a mother would. Because if you're not that man's mother, you don't need to be feeding him, clothing him, giving him money, doing all this type of stuff that a mother should do. Because a woman that's like a girlfriend, wife, does not have the same skills, spirit, abilities, or even the same type of care as a mother would, because that would be crossing boundaries and then it would become inappropriate. Because I'm sure a lot of men don't want their mothers to have sex with them, have babies and all that kind of stuff. But I'm also sure that a lot of men don't want their girlfriends or wives nagging them, chastising them, or whatever the case may be, like a mother would. So there's a boundary and a distinction between being someone's wife and girlfriend as opposed to being their mother. So I do believe that a woman, if that is her job, or if she's been given that gift or that right to be that man's mother, then her duty is that of a mother. But when it comes to a girlfriend or wife that has a boyfriend or a husband, that's not your child, that's not your son. Because when you start operating that role of being a mother, giving him money, food, clothes, and curfew, and chastising him and nagging him, he loses all respect for you because he sees you as an elder, as a mother, not somebody he can play with, have fun, goof, cuss, and burp, and fart and all that type of stuff around, because you're putting yourself in a more respectable energy. Now, I'm not saying that girlfriends or wives can't be respected, but it's just certain things you just do and don't do around certain types of women of a certain caliber. So that's the distinction there. Now, I am going to go into how women can teach their men. I only know this from a biblical perspective because I was Christian before I started practicing Santeria. In the Bible, it does say that if a woman does marry a man or so happens to be with a man that is a non-believer, he can learn her ways and her spirituality by watching her and by learning from her. And in so the way she can teach him the ways of Christ or the ways of the Lord to pull him into the faith. So women can be a guide or a teacher to the man that she's with. So I feel like Gunplay's ancestors really brought them together. But let's look at hers to see how her ancestors are lined up. Okay, ancestors of Vonshae. When it comes to y'all, did y'all pair her up with Gunplay? Yes or no? I'm picking up, yes, they did. I'm picking up that her ancestors did pull him together. So this was something divine. So this relationship was supposed to happen. And yeah, I know a lot of people saying, but he's beating her, pushing her, and attacking her, pointing guns at her, and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to relationships and spiritualities, we can't base things off of what they look like. And we cannot base things off of what we see on the internet because that's just a snapshot of different things. And I know she did, release a video of him smashing the TV with the skillet. And we did see the video of him in the club threatening to shoot the place up and him pushing her back, but she had to push him back so she wouldn't get pushed in the chest, too hard. So there was some violence, some hostility, some volatile things going on in that relationship. But I do see where they were brought together. They were meant to be together by their ancestors. So I do see where this was an ancestral connection. Now let's look a little deeper into this. So the ancestors did bring them apart, but I keep hearing that Gunplay is messing it up because in the beginning it wasn't always like this between them. So let's see. Spirit of the universe in itself. When it comes to Vonshae and Gunplay, how was their relationship in the beginning? I'm picking up their relationship was subtle. It was soft. It was like a soft based relationship, soft bite, soft beat relationship. There wasn't really too much going on. It wasn't gregarious. There wasn't a lot of tension. There wasn't a lot of like hostility. It was just very soft and subtle. But I do pick up where in some instances it was a little versatile with the way that he spoke to her with words. Because I do pick up that was almost as if he would fuss at her or like bite at her or like try to get in her face or like kind of like hollering her energy. You know how somebody try to get all up in your face where you say like I'm working or like I'm trying to get you to understand what I'm saying. I'm picking up that he would do a lot of those things to her. So she was putting up with a lot of hostility as far as attitude is concerned in the beginning of their relationship. Now this whole marriage thing, I didn't think they was legally married, but come to find out they are. Because you know how a lot of guys say, that's my wife, we're married, that's wifey right there. And they really don't be married and stuff, but lo and behold, they are legally married. So let's look into that. When did they get married and how did marriage come across? How did marriage come together? Spirit in the universe. So when it comes to Vonshae and Gunplay, how did marriage come into the picture? Like what made them want to get married? I'm picking up it's more so like a once in a lifetime type of marriage thing. And I'm picking up that it's one of those things where it just happened, but I am picking up that they loved each other. So they did get married off of the basis of them being in love. So I do pick up that love was a major part of this marriage, but it was like a once in a lifetime type of thing. But I do see some regrets going on more so with Gunplay. Gunplay, in a way, is still a child in some ways because I'm picking up a lot of things are missing from him. A lot of things are kind of like just kind of deserted or gone or just missing in his life. He's having like a lot of missing pieces because I didn't know Gunplay was 44 years old. I did not know he was that much older than her. And I think Vonshae is like 24, 26. So they're kind of like 20 years apart. Gunplay, when I first saw him on Love and Hip Hop Miami, I thought he was at least in his 30s. I did not know he was pushing like 44, finna go into 50. But yes, Gunplay currently, I think, is either 42 or 44 years old. And Gunplay also has a son. I didn't know Gunplay had a son that was born, I think, either in the 90s or in the early 2000s that's close to being an adult, if not already an adult. I never knew this about Gunplay. And I am seeing some regrets that Gunplay has more so about his life that he really tried to play out within this marriage. It's like he kind of wanted that. Now picking up the GoFundMe stuff is coming up too. It's like he wanted this soft, subtle, supple like type of family. This happy go lucky family where he's a man, he's with his woman, he's with his child, and they're all just together, just like making music, doing business together, being smart. His wife is very highly intelligent, and the baby having two prime examples to live under or to live after. So I'm picking up some really big regrets here from him about not having that earlier on. Let's see about her though. She's I'm picking up that she's used to it. Because a lot of people may say, oh, well, she's smart. Why is she going with somebody who's like this? Da 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 da. But I'm picking up that she is like kind of used to it. She's used to like the dub sub stuff. People not picking. I'm picking up like people not picking on her or people not picking her. Subtle, soft, too bougie. You think you too good for people and all that kind of stuff. Snotty, snob. She's used to people like talking about her and looking down on her. But I'm also picking up that she gets lonely from time to time because being so successful does cause her to have regrets when she just didn't really get to have a lot of fun and stuff growing up or coming up while she's young because she is still young, but I mean, people don't understand that when you have a child, it changes things for you and it puts you in a different level of adulthood, and that's what we're seeing with her. So she's kind of feel like this whole thing is kind of like overshadowed her life. It's like her relationship with Gunplay has kind of like made things harder for her, made her life harder for her because she doesn't want to be in the spotlight. She doesn't know this. She doesn't know this life. So it's like she kind of is a little regretful about even going public with him or even coming out saying anything about her and him like really being together because the judgment sometimes is a little too harsh for her. Okay, so let's pick up with the baby. I'm picking up this baby was planned. Okay, Spirit of the Universe, Universe in the Self. When it comes to Osana, I think that's the name of their baby. When it comes to Osana, please give us an accurate reading on was their baby planned? Was this baby destined? Or did this baby just come about? I'm picking up that this baby was planned. Yeah, they really wanted a child. They really wanted a child together. They wanted to have a baby because they just felt like it was a perfect time. He was ready to have another baby, and by her being young, she just felt like the timing was right and that the moment was right for her to have a little girl. So this baby was predestined. This baby was planned. So yes, they wanted to have a child together. So, okay. Now let's look at the latter half of the relationship before the show and the publications, and then I'm going to go into the GoFundMe, like what was behind that. Spirit of the Universe, Universe Self, when it comes to Gunplay and Vonshae, please give an accurate reading on their relationship. Like what has their relationship transpired to since all this stuff has been going on? I'm picking up that it's very versatile, hostile, but I'm picking up that she's used to this and that she's putting up with a lot of this stuff from her. Because I've seen a lot from him. I've seen a lot of stuff online saying that he picked her because she was easy, that he picked her because she's going to put up with everything, that he picked her, da da da. I'm picking up that she's putting up with a lot of the stuff because she loves him and she really wants to make this marriage work and make this marriage successful. I'm picking up they're like two adults. They want to be adults about the situation. And it's like they don't want to really see this type of relationship as some hanky panky, oh, it's for TV, love and hip hop type of thing. They really want this relationship to transpire into something real. But yes, this relationship has been a little hostile because she does put up with a lot of things from him. Now let's look into the GoFundMe because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't understand why they needed to GoFundMe because I'm like, Gunplay, you're a rapper and your wife was a lawyer, so why don't y'all have any money to pay your daughter's medical bills? So let's look into that. Spirit of the universe, universe itself, when it comes to Vonshae and Gunplay, why did they do a GoFundMe? What was the purpose behind this GoFundMe? I'm picking up money. And this money was more so for themselves because I'm picking up that they're kind of broke in a way. Because I'm picking up Gunplay hasn't really been checking his royalties more so, and he hasn't really been checking on his checks more so, and he's kind of like not earning enough money. It's like during the pandemic, he just didn't do his functions properly, his functions carefully. I'm picking up, he was drunk a lot during the pandemic. He drunk a lot. So this alcohol and this buzz and all this kind of stuff, it's a real issue for him because I'm picking up that he was a little tipsy and a little buzzy during the pandemic when he should have been taking care of his money, taking care of his properties or his responsibilities. And I'm also picking up that there's some things kind of faltering in the mix between him and Rick Ross because Rick Ross by far is not a good businessman. Y'all already know the stories of Wingstop, how he wasn't paying the workers at Wingstop. They're getting paid under the table. Ain't nobody getting no official check, even though Marion even expressed a little bitterness and a little anger in some ways because Omarion was on Maybach Music once upon a time. And he released like two good songs called Let's Talk that had like the Biggie Smalls feature on it. And there was another song he had. Oh, since you've been away, love has been MIA, 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 MIA. I'm done looking for love because she took away her. Now MIA. Okay, with that song, that was on Maybach Music. And y'all heard like the Maybach Music in the beginning of the song. So yeah, Marion was on Maybach Music back then. And he did express a couple years later, he was kind of, had a little attitude about Rick Ross not putting his music out enough and not really promoting him, putting him on so that his stuff could progress and flourish because Rick Ross like to talk this big game about being a boss and all that kind of stuff, but he really don't be taking care of his henchmen, really taking care of the people that's behind him like that. So yeah, Rick Ross, he a little shady with some of his business dealings with people he claimed to love and be close to. And Gunplay is kind of, he's feeling a little salty about that too because Gunplay, to me, Gunplay was like Rick Ross's baby. I remember when he had that song, That's Why I Roll with the Bible on the Dash. That's the only song I remember from him. All these other songs that people say they remember him from, I don't know them. The Bible on the Dash song, that's the only song that I remember that he did. But it seemed like Gunplay was kind of like Rick Ross's baby in a sense. But it's like he didn't take care of him good enough. So Gunplay, he's like a mixed and a combination of so many different emotions and so many different feelings and stuff. Like it's not even funny because it would literally take a scientist or even a therapist or even a priest some years to try to work some of this stuff out of Gunplay that he has attached to him. Because I'm picking up there's a lot of like attachments to him. He has a lot of energies attached to him that he needs to cleanse, that he's detached himself from. I'm picking up he needs to work on his inner child too. Because there's a lot of like soothsayers that probably didn't mean him any good. Because like I said, he's very spiritual and he's gone to a lot of people. But I'm picking up he's gone to a lot of people that didn't really help him that much. Because I'm going to tell y'all this. This may come off as me judging, but I'm a judge because I hate when people claim to be in Santeria like Summer Walker and some of these other folks and they don't live the lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying if you practice Ifa, Isheshe, Santeria that you got to be perfect. Just how they try to tell people in Christianity that if you're Christian, you got to be perfect. All I'm saying is that At least make us look good or look better than we do. Because I'm like, people already think that we nothing but a bunch of witches and warlocks working spells and drinking alcohol and rum and smoking cigars to keep these spirits and stuff going or to keep the demons and stuff going. At least y'all can try to be a living example of how spirituality can actually bless you and upgrade your life instead of out here claiming and flossing elekes and walking around like you're Oshun's daughter or Yemaya's daughter and having pictures up of you in your year in white and showing your Kariosha and everything. At least live the lifestyle to show that we're not a whole bunch of crazy woo-woo people out here trying to take people's money. That's all I ask. But when it comes to gunplay, some of these people that he went to in the past, spiritual wise, they didn't lead him down the right path. They kind of let him go and let him slip and slide in some unknown territories that he really didn't need to go into. So he's been deceived a lot and betrayed by certain people. So, hmm. So let's pick up on I really want to tap into his spiritual side a little bit more. So let's see what's going on. So ancestors of gunplay, when it comes to his walk in Santeria, what can he do to resolve these issues? What can he do? It's so funny that Shango popped up in these cards because I feel like he's a child of Shango. I just pick up that energy on him. I'm picking up that he really needs to go back to a Babalao or the Babalao that is his godfather and get a cleanse. He needs a deep rooted type of cleanse. A lot of people don't know this, but a lot of the Orishas do have their foundations in voodoo. Like if you go to voodoo in Benin, a lot of the voodoo that's practiced in the Caribbean, like 21 divisions with Dominicans and Haitian voodoo in Haiti, a lot of those spirits, they have their foundations in Benin. And a lot of the voodoo spirits come from Benin, especially the tribes of the Dahomey people, because Azuli Freda so happens to be a spirit from the Dahomey people. And some of the Orishas come from the Dahomey people in Benin. So I feel like he needs to get either a Babalao that is skilled in voodoo, that may be initiated in voodoo, or that has a lot of knowledge of voodoo as far as the Beninian version, how it ties in with the Orishas and how he can be cleansed from all of this stuff going on. But I'm picking up that he needs to be consulted too. He needs a consult, somebody to really counsel him and guide him in the right things. By him being a Shango man, this is amazing. By him being a Shango man, he's gonna be very viril. I know virility is a word, but viril, because Shango's nature is being that proud king black man. Shango is all about me. I'm handsome, I'm sexy, I can get the women. Everybody likes to see me dance and dazzle around and move. I'm a man, I'm masculine, I can bring forth kids, I'm a man. I have Oshun and I have Oba and Obanani as my wives, and I can get whatever I want, and I can make magic come and bring forth lightning strikes and thunder and make fire come out. I can cause a lot of riffraff. I can cause a lot of chaos, but for good reasons. And I'm also good, with my money as far as a business sense. Shango is that dude, and it's gunplay has that energy, it has that spirit within him, but he just needs to have it revealed to him. It's been revealed to him before, but I'm picking up that he's down with the roots. Now, he's in touch with his roots and his spirituality, especially with his Puerto Rican side, because I feel like his Puerto Rican ancestors were the ones that really brought him to Santeria, and that's why he's in it. But let me see if he is initiated. Because I mean, initiations are expensive. These celebrities are rich, so they got the money. So let's see. Is Gunplay initiated in Santeria? Is he a Santero? Okay, ancestors of Gunplay is Gunplay a Santero? Yes or no? Yep. I'm picking up Omio Shango. Omo Shango, which means I am a child of Shango. So yes, I am picking up that he is crowned. That I'm picking up that he is crowned and that he is a Santero. So yes, he is initiated into Santeria. So by him having this crown of, Shango, and by him having a virility, because he acts like a Shango man. So he's a Shango man. He's a warrior. He's fought through a lot of things. He's made it through a lot of things, and it's like he's trying to get his voice heard, but he doesn't really know how to get himself out there. And I'm picking up that he's trying to make amends with his past, but I'm picking up that he's a very hurt person. Because I did see a clip on Love and Hip Hop where they had that reunion thing, and he really wanted to confront Gunplay. I mean, he really wanted to confront Miami Tip, and they were saying, we're at a school, you don't need to be doing this, da da da. Gunplay, he's really trying to be more honest and more sincere with people, but more so of himself, because Gunplay does see how a lot of people played on his head. Like a lot of people played in his face. And I think that's what kind of makes him drift in and out of anger and drift in and out of all of this different stuff that he has going on, like the demons people say that he's dealing with, but it's more so because he's been done wrong by a lot of people. He's hurt a lot of people himself, so he's not necessarily completely innocent, but there just seems to be a lot of karma coming in and a lot of hurt feelings coming out is what it seems, and he just doesn't really have that balance. But let's see the outcome of this relationship or this marriage. Okay. Spirit of the universe, so when it comes to Vonshae and Gunplay, what is going to be the outcome of their marriage after all of this? I'm picking up divorce, but there's going to be like a divorce with reconciliation. So I'm picking up there's a divorce, but I am picking up reconciliation mainly for the child. So it's like they're gonna get divorced, but I am picking up that they're gonna reconcile more so on a relationship purpose before they think about walking down the aisle getting married again, because they feel like they really need to be compatible with each other, one another, in order for this relationship or for this marriage to work if they were to get married again. So yes, I am picking up divorce, but I'm picking up reconcile for the sake of the child, because they do want to be married. They still want to get married. Again, that is. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the relationship between Gunplay and Vonshae. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to like, leave lovely comments, and subscribe to my channel. Have a good night.